The images you're about to see, 40 seconds long, officially released by the United States, are the first official images of the infamous incident involving a Russian Su-27 fighter jet and an MQ-9 Predator drone, Reaper drone, over the Black Sea just off the coast of Ukraine. India Today has the entire video clip, 40 seconds long, and this basically is the first official and authentic imagery of that dramatic mid-air encounter between a Russian fighter jet and an American Reaper drone. This is Cold War drama of the highest kind. This was 20,000 feet in the air over the Black Sea off the coast of Crimea, which used to be a part of Ukraine, annexed since 2014 by Russia. It involved this Sukhoi Su-27 fighter jet that was flying alarmingly close to the American MQ-9 Reaper, which is a derivative of the Predator, which was conducting surveillance operations over the Black Sea. Now, the Americans had issued a press release saying that the Russian fighter had flown in an unsafe, reckless and unprofessional manner, leading to systems on board the MQ-9 Predator drone being destroyed and the drone finally crashing into the Black Sea. Russia has claimed that the drone was flying in a provocative and illegal manner in Russian airspace and therefore needed to be controlled. At no point has Russia admitted to what you're seeing on the screen right now, but this appears to establish what the Americans had put out in their first press release 2 days ago. They had said that the Russian fighters had flown dangerously close to the drone. They had dumped fuel on the drone, which you can see very clearly in these images. Those two big white plumes you see coming out of the fighter jet just as it starts to climb towards the drone is actually aviation fuel being released by the fighter. It appears deliberately, because that entire fuel cloud just engulfs the drone and debilitates all its systems. It destroys its engine. It probably destroyed some of its electronics as well. And in the second half of the clip, you can see either the same aircraft or a similar aircraft coming back in a very similar maneuver, but just before what we can only imagine is a collision, the camera cuts out. So there was a collision of some kind that debilitated this aircraft. There are experts who believe that the fuel released by the Sukhoi fighter drenching the entire drone was enough to destroy it. But the Americans insist that there was also a collision. Now, an actual collision hasn't fully been captured in this video. Only the fuel dumping has been captured. But the Americans have put out a press release saying that a collision also did happen. What can be clearly seen in these images is not only two instances of a Su-27 fighter flying very, very close to the drone and deliberately releasing fuel in order to drench the drone and damage it, but also succeeding to do so, because you can see towards the end of the footage, the propeller of the drone stops functioning. The propeller of the drone stops turning, and with that, the drone basically loses all power, and therefore it crashed into the sea. There is nothing the drone could have done, because remember, it has only that single propeller engine mounted towards the back of the aircraft. And once it is damaged, there is no way to fix it. There are no pilots in a drone. They are controlled from thousands of kilometers away at a ground station. But this, America has branded an act of unprofessionalism, unsafe aviation and basically reckless airmanship. That's what the Americans have blamed the Russians for. Russia says that its pilots did not do anything wrong. It was the drone that was flying illegally and in a provocative manner in airspace controlled by the Russian military. Now, this encounter has had a huge fallout across the world. It has sent tremors across the world because of the implications of a Russian fighter shooting down an American drone in international airspace. Something like this could easily trigger a bigger escalation. All of it coming, remember, in the wake of hostilities in the Ukraine, where the United States is seen by Russia as a combatant, since it has been hugely arming Ukraine in the fight against the Russian aggression. But these pictures, for the first time, establish precisely what happened to that MQ-9 Reaper drone as it was tailed, zeroed in on, scouted and then destroyed by a pair of Russian pilots in at least 2 Su-27 fighter aircraft. Now, the footage has been taken from the main camera, which is basically slung right beneath the drone. It's capable of looking in any direction, and therefore it was able to swivel backward to take a look at that Russian fighter careening towards the drone and destroying it with all that fuel. Whether a collision happened or not, we are not sure just yet. We'll have more experts speaking about this in just a short while here on India Today. Remember where you saw this footage first.